Hi, everyone. You might wonder, what is this guy telling us now? Well, the reality is, yesterday night or this night, tonight, at 2:45, my mother passed away. And in all frankness, I think I kind of ran out of tears to constantly think about it and thinking how horrible that is. The moment I got the news and I had to process it, I was devastated. Regardless how much time I spent and how many reasonable thoughts I put together and how many kind of stories I created in my head and how many people influenced me saying, look, this is the way of life and blah, 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 blah. Trust me, the moment when it happens, it's just crushing you. Regardless how strong you are, how big you are, how smart you are, it doesn't matter. It crushes you because it's over. It's permanent. There is no recovery from that. It's just over. And when you think of it, of this, it's over. You know this because you have a game is over, a job is over, or whatever. These things are fragments of your life, but it's still your life continues. But when your life is over, that's it. So the moment you try to process this and you think, okay, maybe there's a no, there's not. According to this one example, apparently, where somebody came back from the death. So you sit there and you try to process it, and you think, my God, I don't want that. Although I wanted my mother to have a peaceful and painless transition into that permanent state. But again, when it happens, it's just horrible. Now, as you have already realized, my way of dealing with certain things in life is I need to share them. In this very new way, I share it with you. And apparently, a number of people yesterday saw my yesterday's video, which is actually pretty impressive. I haven't thought about that. So thank you very much for that. For me, it's an opportunity to get something off my chest, which otherwise I would have in my head, and I try to process it, and I procrastinate until I cannot sleep, and so forth. So thank you very much for your time and your patience with me. But while you're processing it, and while I'm sharing the fact that that happened, the overwhelming amount of love, warmth, support is, I can't describe this. It's just unbelievable because it made me aware of how many people are in my life or around my life which take part in it and want to lessen the burden I have to carry. This is one of the greatest things I've ever experienced. I'm so incredibly grateful for all of this because it actually really lightens the load. It doesn't make the thing go away. It doesn't make my mother come back to life again, but it helps me to lighten the load. And while this happens from so many different angles, I mean, I talk to people I haven't talked to for 20 years, and I think I forgot that they existed, and most likely the same, but apparently not. So I'm immensely grateful for a tool like Facebook because apparently it helps you to reach people in such moments. And for that, it's absolutely freaking fantastic. So you get all this love and all this kind of, the condolences and everything which comes in. But in this very moment, there was this revelation, this kind of almost epiphany I had in this very moment, where I thought to myself, what a weird species we are. I mean, think of it, right? Think of it. We are, we have something popping up in our screens or something which we see, which touches our heart, and we feel the urge to send a message and say, look, I'm with you. I share your heartbreak. Here's my support. Amazing, right? Partially total strangers. I'm pretty sure there were a bunch of people which don't know me at all, in all honesty. However, it does the trick because it really helps you. Because you feel loved. My friends, the amount of friends, these great people which kind of, you know, had took time out of the day to send you a note of comfort or to say, hello, we're with you. And if you need anything, then let us know. Absolutely fantastic. Now here's the epiphany. Imagine we would spend the same energy while we were alive. And when we talk to people, we would not spend or we would not waste so much time to pretend. We would actually use the energy to have an honest conversation with people. And honest doesn't necessarily mean, hey, look, Will, I think you're a fat guy. That's a form of honest which is also existent. But I mean honest in a sense of, hey, look, I really like you, or I really like this, or I don't know what to do with that, and can you help me with this? That form of honesty. But that honesty doesn't exist. I'm at a conference. I try to distract myself from the fact that I cannot constantly think of my beloved mother. So I thought I'd distract myself. So I'm at a conference. So spend a lot of time with people, and there's a laugh here and a laugh there and whatever. And then there is this moment when you unfortunately have to be the downer in the conversation and say, "Look, because hey, well, how's your family?" And you say, "Yeah, not that great. Yeah, why? What's going on?" So my mom died last night, and there was this pause. But the real interesting thing is the expression, the face, the mimic, the body language, everything is focused on this reaction towards you to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And people kind of hug you, strangers hug you, kind of say, give you words of comfort, whatever. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But then you sit with people together on the table and you say, so how things? Everything is fantastic. Trust me, there's not enough success out there for the amount of people you meet every day. So somebody is not successful. Either it's me or you or somebody else. Somebody is not successful. But you're still taking your life's energy to share how awesome everything is. What does that create? If everybody is awesome, there's no need. I don't need you, you don't need me. Everything is wonderful. We just part our ways, and then at the end of the day, we go home and we have a chat with our wives, friends, partners, or a bottle of wine, and we're going to say, oh my God, my life is horrible. Imagine you would sit somewhere and you would do the same honest reaction. You would say, look, I don't know. I have this challenge and I don't know what to do. I have this problem. I don't know how to fix this. I have an issue with money. I don't know how to do that. It's not appropriate. Says who? Is it appropriate to hug a total stranger because this stranger's mother died, which I know, and I don't know the stranger and I don't know his mother, but I give him a hug? Is that appropriate? I don't know. In my personal opinion, it absolutely is. Because it gives you comfort. And comfort gives you peace of mind at this very stressful moment. So why would I not give you the same peace of mind when it's something else? Why not? What's the problem? Because you might not look great, or you might not be as, admired, or people might think you're not as big. Seriously? It reminded me to the pledge I gave to my mom last week when I said I will change things in my life. And one of the things I promised myself doing less is pretending. And I'm really good at it, I'd say. Because I pretend to myself everything is wonderful when it's not. And I promised to myself not doing it. And I caught myself today in such a situation. I went to one of the booths and guys were talking to me and they said, oh, hey, well, I saw on LinkedIn you did this or this, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, I kind of established 3 companies and whatever. In this very moment when I said it, I said to myself, well, what am I doing? What's the point? So I said, hey, yeah, that's right. We're still a startup. We have done certain things. We have, built things up. But seriously, there is one thing we shouldn't have done. It's actually really doing horrible. Major mistake. Shouldn't have done that. There is this moment on the other side where the people are standing there and thinking, "Oh my God, this is very different," because usually people say, "No, everything is wonderful," and then suddenly people open up and say, "Yeah, this is not running well. This project has some challenges." What an amazing change of direction. And I don't mean this as a trick, as a hey, look, this is how things work. No, I mean this as since we're humans, that's something which is engraved in us. It doesn't require training, it's there. We just cover it in layers of nonsense. And at the end of the day, we cannot use it anymore because we think it's not appropriate. Where the only thing which is appropriate between us humans is creating real interactions. Because I promise you 100%, the moment you face death, you're going to regret it. And at one point in time, you're going to face it. You don't like it. You don't want to think about it. And it's all horrible because death sucks. But you will face it at one point in time. And I told myself, I don't want to face that moment and look back at my life and thinking, how much time, valuable time in my life, have I wasted to pretend? What's the bigger gain in this? And I'm not talking about wearing heels or taking wardrobe which makes you slimmer or kind of, I'm not talking about that. This is kind of, whatever. We're humans. We do things like that, right? We all do. No, I mean this, when you have a conversation, what do you really want to get out of it? And after such a tragic situation, confronted with the permanence of it, it should make you think. And it made me think. So, with that said, I pledge to you, as I did to my mother, I will be more transparent going forward. And with that said, I will use this transparency in the videos to follow. In case you wonder what this amazing background is, it's not a staged background. It's actually just an apartment somewhere in south of France. Um, and every time I look at my surrounding while I'm talking to you, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, should I not do this and that? It's like, this is exactly what I meant with that. There is no need. There is no need to take 20 different forms of selfies before you post it. And I point with my finger at myself because I do the same things. Oh my God, it's different. It doesn't look good. The actual impression you leave is the impression with the person when you see that person first. And then, regardless what you do, you don't have 20 attempts to get it right. So rather be honest and not try to pretend to be somebody else, because usually it doesn't last long and you will not have the power to maintain it for a very long period of time. Sooner or later, the real personality will come through. With that said, thank you so much for listening to all this, for helping me to get it out of my system. In the next sessions to come, or the next videos to come, we'll talk a little bit more about my past and the things I've done and the things which I'm trying to go through or which I went through. And I hope you still stay with me and you're subscribed to the channel. So thank you very much for your time. I'm wishing you a great evening and thank you very much for your support. Thanks a lot.